All right, chapter 19. Daniel and the Scary Sleepover. And look who it is. Come here, you. Come say hi. Everybody loves you. Once again, a very special hello to Miss Montgomery's class. Thank you for watching, everyone. Freckles loves being a part of this, and I'm really happy that Freckles is making you guys happy, because in tough times, she has made me very comforted. You know, she made me feel very warm inside and let me know that the Lord still loves me. Been through some tough stuff, but good thing about God is He always loves you, and He always reminds you of that. And He'll do it in very personal ways that speak to you personally. So remember, God loves you no matter what. But off my soapbox, we'll pet the kitty, and we'll get reading. This is from Daniel in the Lion's Den, from Daniel chapter 6. It's a great, great story. Things were not looking good for God's people. They had been captured and taken far from home, and now, here's a good shot of what she does. There she is. Say hi, Freckles. Oh, where was I? Taken far from home. So they had been captured and taken far from home, and now they were slaves of the king of Babylon. But God had not left his people. He was with them, and he was looking after them. Daniel loved God and obeyed him. Now God made Daniel able to understand lots of difficult things, so it wasn't long before the king of Babylon noticed him. King Darius liked how clever Daniel was, so he made Daniel his most important helper of all, and put him in charge of lots of other helpers. But other helpers didn't like this. They wanted the king to like them best. They wanted to get rid of Daniel, so they spied on Daniel. They tried to find things wrong with Daniel, things they could tell the king, but there weren't any. None. They couldn't find anything at all. Except there was just one thing. Every day, 3 times a day, without fail, no matter what, Daniel went to his room, closed his door, and prayed. They smiled to themselves. Let's get the king to make a law. No one is allowed to pray to anyone except to the king. Daniel won't obey this. Oh, sorry, I got some glare on there. Daniel won't obey this. I'm going to start that over again. Daniel won't obey this law, and he will be punished. There we go. Happy kitty. Say hi. Just hanging out still. Looking for some love. They were pleased with themselves for being so clever and hurried off to tell the king. The king liked their idea. He didn't know they were tricking him, so he made it into a law. Everyone must pray, only to me. If you don't, the lions will have you for their dinner. Daniel heard this. He knew it was wrong to pray to anyone except God. He had to do what God said, whatever it cost him, even if it meant he would die. So Daniel went to his room, closed the door, and prayed. That's just what bad men knew Daniel would do. Or what the bad men knew Daniel would do. They skipped straight off to tell the king, "Oh, your most glittering highness, your law says, does it not, that everyone must pray to you alone, sire?" "Yes," said the king. "O magisterial brightness, then correct us if we're wrong, but it would seem that Daniel is praying to God, not to you." The king was sad. He had been tricked. He didn't want to hurt Daniel, but he couldn't change his law, and so he let the soldiers throw Daniel into the lion's den. May your God, who you love so much, rescue you, he said. Whoa. There's the lions. I mean, if it was like a Freckles den, homie would be getting some good kitty snuggles. Like good kitty snuggles from the Freckles. Hello. The king went back to his palace, but he didn't sleep that night. Not a wink. He tossed and turned until finally, the first glimmer of dawn, he leaped out of bed and ran straight to the den. Daniel, he cried, has your God rescued you? Yes, Daniel shouted. God sent an angel to close the lions' mouths. Here's Daniel. And there, resting his head on Daniel's lap, was the biggest lion, purring like a little Freckles, like a little kitten. The king brought Daniel out of the den. Look, he said, Daniel doesn't even have a scratch. The king made a new law. Daniel's God is the true God, and the God who rescues. Pray to him instead. God would keep on rescuing his people, and the time was coming when God would send another brave hero like Daniel, who would love God and do what God said, whatever it cost him, even if it meant he would die. And together they would pull off the greatest rescue the world has ever known.